just finished Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I have to say, it was a phenomenal book. Very easy 5 stars. And I finished the 1818 version, which I believe would be the original version. But yeah, I finally have done it. I finally read Frankenstein. Now, after like growing up and knowing what Frankenstein is, that big green monster, and you know, seeing it depicted in many movies, actually having read the book, it is much more different. Like I was expecting it to be more leaning towards like a Trojan's sort of story. And what I got was a very complex analysis of loneliness, or at least that's kind of what I gathered from it. It's very sort of disturbing and creepy, the way that this monster is depicted, and the way it's depicted in its loneliness, and what it does in that loneliness, in that desperation that it sort of befalls it. Very, very good book. Very different from any sort of depiction I've seen of Frankenstein. Very different. You might hear my cat. He's playing with this ball thing, so he might be making a bit of noise here. I was picked up by the microphone. Apologies. But again, Frankenstein, very, very good. It's told initially through like a series of letters, and I was expecting it to be only letters kind of throughout. And then the letters ended, and we actually went into like more of a story. Then it went back to letters near the end. Something I gathered is those endings, the letters that, you know, at the start correspond to the ending. And so now I'm like, I should reread this book to really just go through those letters again, read the story, having already know the knowledge of, you know, the later parts of the book, and just reread it again. I think I would appreciate this book even more after a second reread, which is crazy because I already love it. It's already 5 stars. It's already so good. Like this is the hype I wanted from Frankenstein. This is exactly what I wanted. I am so glad that this book was as good as it was because of how much I've seen of Frankenstein in terms of movies, in terms of it just being discussed, you know, around Halloween, watching movies that have Frankenstein in it or whatever, right? Very glad this lived up to just the hype. I was not expecting it, again, to be as chilling or disturbing as it was. And I was not expecting Mary Shelley. I was doing some digging. I believe she wrote this book when she was 18, or at least started the writings of this book when she was 18. And I just think to have such a complex understanding of loneliness at that age, I think is phenomenal. It goes to show how well of an author Mary Shelley was to have been able to write this book at such a young age. I think I could not have written this when I was 18. Nowhere close at all to it. So like she was on another level here. Again, just her depiction of loneliness. Like the monster is very real, and it's very real in how lonely it is. I don't want to, you know, really go much into it as to not spoil the book, but very real, very like good writing from Mary Shelley here. And I am amazed that she wrote this when she was 18, or started the writings of it. There is another version of the book that she wrote, you know, some years later. I have not read that version. I might read it just to kind of see the comparisons and the differences, but I think the 1818 version, the one that's in my hand, phenomenal. Loved it. Very, very good book. If you like Gothic horror and you grew up like me on, like, you know, having seen Frankenstein and whatnot, read this book. It is vastly different from any media that I've seen on Frankenstein, and it is the best version I've seen on Frankenstein. This was amazing. 5 stars. So easy to give it that. Very, 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 very good book. Very good book. I need to read Dracula now. I feel like that's the next kind of stepping stone after Frankenstein, to read Dracula, the original, which I did also purchase that at the same time as I purchased this. So I think that will be a read I do for October, as that kind of fits in with the Halloween sort of theme. I think Dracula would be a good pick. I realistically should have saved this for more of a Halloween time, but I bought it and immediately was like, I gotta read this finally. And I did, and it was so good. Read this if you're like me and you like that, you know, horror, Gothic, and you want to read that sort of Frankenstein tale. It is very good, very complex. I will be rereading it, and I think that Mary Shelley had such a high grasp of loneliness, and she does such a good job of depicting that through her monster. It's very chilling, very just it's good. Read it. And You know, if you like the video, subscribe. This was kind of just a rant. Hopefully, the review is up to par. If you like the video, subscribe, like it. Thanks for watching. That was Frankenstein. Good book. Read it.